Hey guys! So this time around, I actually remembered to film myself coding. I have hours of boring footage. There's got to be a middle ground somewhere. Anyway, yeah, we're working on finishing up the rendering engine. I made a camera and tied it into the input system so you can look around, and also wrote some code to import 3D models. So yeah, if you like the video, please do the thing, and let's get started. Alrighty guys, so this time around I have a lot of time-lapse footage of me implementing various parts of the renderer. So we're gonna play this on the screen so you can watch it happen, but also I'm gonna dub over that and explain what's going on. So here I'm creating the camera class, which is implemented similarly to the Windows system in that as someone using the engine, I don't want to know if I'm using OpenGL or if I'm using Vulkan or whatever. I just want to know that I need a camera. And so I'll tell the engine to make a camera, and it's going to find the OpenGL camera class or the Vulkan camera class and send that back to me as a regular camera. And so that's what I'm working on here. And the main purpose of the camera here is to define what's called the view frustum. And what that is it's just the bounding box that determines what you can see in the world at any given time. And so there are three main components to the frustum. Those are the field of view, the near plane, and the far plane. The field of view is just the angle that determines how the frustum spreads out, and the near plane determines what you can see up close, the far plane determines what you can see far away. And essentially these the definition of these three values determines what type of projection the camera uses. And the two main types there are perspective, which is how things look in the real world. Things that are close to you look bigger, things that are far away look smaller. And orthographic projections, and that's where everything always looks the same size, no matter its distance from the camera. So we use that for the UI, and we use a perspective projection for pretty much everything else in the world. And so you can see here I'm just cleaning up the code a bit, implementing in the window the camera itself, and then you'll see the pyramid here pop up on the screen. For the record, I'm not moving my mouse at all. I'm just holding down the click. Oh man. Okay, so figured out what the cause of that bug was last night before I finished up. I didn't actually record where I was fixing it, but I did figure it out. And the issue was I was setting the mouse position in the input system, but when the mouse position is set in the input system, it only changes where it's keeping track of itself. It doesn't actually tell GLFW to set the mouse position to that position. And the reason for that is because I had originally wanted the input system to be agnostic. Turns out that actually to line up with this to-do of having the not having an OpenGL specific friend class in the base input system, The way that this is going to work is I'm going to refactor it to be like the Windows system, which has its base interface and then has the OpenGL defined things separate. So I'm going to be doing that refactor now so that the input system can excuse me, so that the input system can access OpenGL properly, and then that way the input system itself can set OpenGL key codes and things. Cool. Gonna get started on that now. Run it. Well, we sort of have it, except what is okay, so on the texture, especially since that seems to be the brightest, and I feel like it should not be. But that's all right. Does look cool. Hey guys, and welcome back to I'm a Big Dumb Idiot Who Doesn't Actually Know What He's Doing. In this episode, we're going to talk about how I was deleting the entire build folder in the build script every single time it ran, and that's why it took so long. I have successfully cut our build time down to 8 seconds. So if we go here, you can see build script, run, and done. There we go. And now we're going to, I swear. Don't do what I do, kids. Don't change your keyboard layout and expect for things to be easy within, what's it been, a month? Just don't do it, you know? Okay, undefined reference to vtable for texture. Oh my god, okay, so that one should... Oh, don't tell me that that's the fucking... That's exactly what the issue is. This is what happens, boys and girls, when you're not a C++ developer and you decide to develop things in C++. This is what happens. Okay, so as you can see, I did a little bit of work off camera, and we now have a specular map up and running. So you can see the planks have a bit more highlighting than the creases in the wood. You can see it a little bit better here. So yeah, I've got that. I've got a few different types of light set up in the shader. I have a feeling that I'm going to be refactoring those here soon into their own individual light shaders, and then I plan on also refactoring the light itself into into its own class. I don't think I'm actually going to have the light model, you know, have a like, I don't think I'm going to have lights actually have a physical model, or visual one at least. because I could very easily have this light set up without it actually needing to be visible. In fact, because all of those calculations are done separately from the floor, I could just comment out all of this here. So if I were to do that, then we wait for the build script to run. Really go, and so now you can see, even without the actual like light box there, that the light itself would still work. So theoretically we could have like a lamp or a window, like a wall window up here with the light coming through. We don't need the physical light, but we still get the effect of having the light. So yeah, I think that looks a bit better than having a big glowing cube also. Anyway, next up, going to be working on combining everything I have right now into a mesh that has essentially a draw function where it handles all of the buffers and everything itself. That's going to simplify this main onUpdate function, and eventually my goal is to have some sort of system set up. I'm not entirely sure how just yet, excuse me, but to have some system set up wherein anytime you create something with a mesh, it registers itself with OpenGL, and then you can just customize its, or rather the mesh itself, once you give it all the parameters, will have its own draw call. And so OpenGL behind the scenes will go in and it'll call draw on all of the things that it needs to each frame. So that's the goal, and gonna start working on the basics of that, which is having the mesh itself now. Hey guys, so last week as I was finishing up the renderer, I was out of town and didn't have a good recording set up, and so I don't have any footage of me implementing model importing or text rendering. But those were the last two things that I set up for the renderer. And so let's take a look at this real quick. So I've got in the renderer models, text, textures, things like that. Those will all be accessible to anyone using the engine, and also a model importer that's using the open asset importing library. So it goes through, it takes the model files, which I've got a few here, and it converts them into data that I can use in the renderer, and essentially just creates a new model as it processes what it finds in the model file. But yeah, so that is currently set up. And then if I run this here, you can see I've got a little example scene with a this backpack guitar thing. I actually snagged this model directly from the asset importer tutorial I was following, courtesy of Learn OpenGL. I'll be sure to put a link to that in the description. But you can see I've got the model rendering with the texture and everything. I've got the sample text and then a little watermark up here. I don't really think I need that. I just thought it was kind of like, it makes everything look official, and I'm a big fan of that. Anyway, so that is what we've got for the renderer. Okay guys, that's all I got for this video. Next time we're going to be looking at the entity component system design pattern, and I'll go into more detail on what that is at the beginning of the next video. But for now, let's just hope that it helps with some code organization and also helps with maybe some optimizations. It'd be nice if the engine ran a little faster, although I'm not noticing any performance issues at the moment with the very simple things that I'm asking it to do. But yeah, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you could do that or comment or subscribe or any of those things, that'd be awesome because it lets me know that hopefully I'm doing things right. Anyway, that's all I got. I will see you guys next time. Hey guys, welcome back to the Alkahest Devlog series. Excuse you. In this video, I'm finishing up the rendering engine and come on, brain. Tying that into the and even importing models and lighting into a scene. Stick around. And even importing 3D models into the scene. Hey guys. Wait, one. Reset. You know what? It looks a little weird if I'm dancing like that. Well, me, I guess.